right, so section 3.3 is straight out of Algebra 1. It shouldn't be a huge surprise to any of you. It's called slope of a line. So slope is usually given as a fraction. In the numerator, we usually have the what? Rise. And in the denominator, we usually have the run. Okay, so it's the rise over the run. If you have 2 points, you take those 2 points, you plug them in, and there's a formula. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then when you go to graph your lines, you're going to see 4 different types of lines. Okay? If your line is going up from left to right, that's going to be a what kind of slope? Positive. You have a positive number, it's going to go up. If you have a negative number of a slope, it's going to go down. And then there's the 2 special ones. So if you have your line doesn't go up or down, it's pretty flat, it's 0. That's a horizontal line. And then there's the really weird one that we call undefined. That one is vertical. Okay. So to calculate the slope of a line, there are 2 ways you can do it. We're going to do it algebraically when you're given 2 points. Okay? If you have a piece of graph paper, you could graph the 2 points and count the slope. So that's one option. So graphically, you would just count it. Okay? Plot your 2 points, count it. All right? Versus if I give you 2 points, A is going to be at negative 2, 3, and B is going to be at 4, negative 1. So we're going to use, this is our x1 and our y1. This is our x2 and our y2. We simply plug it into the slope formula that we wrote down up here. And then make sure you add and subtract your positive and negative numbers correctly. And you'll get your slope. So in the numerator, we're going to go y2 minus y1. So in this case, it's negative 1 minus 3. And then in the denominator, we're going to have our x2 minus our x1. So 4 minus negative 2. And as long as you plug it in the right spots, all you have to do is simplify. Most people can do these in your head. If you have a hard time adding and subtracting negative numbers, please use your calculator. Okay? And if you plug it into your calculator correctly, it'll do it all for you. All right, so negative 1 minus 3 more is negative 4. And then in the denominator, we have 4 minus negative 2. We'll change those both to plus plus. So 4 plus 2 is 6. And whenever you can reduce your slope, reduce it. So what does this reduce to? Negative 2/3. So is this line going to go up, down, horizontal, or vertically? This one's going to go down because it's negative. Okay? Any questions on example number 1? All right. If you need a few more examples of that, we did some in your flip book from the Algebra 1 review, okay? So there's a couple more in there. All right, example number 2, sometimes you'll be asked to find the slope when you're given an equation. An equation will usually come to you in what we call standard form. So like 5x minus 2y equals 20. So you want to take that equation and just put it in slope-intercept form and then just look in the m spot. Whatever's in the m spot is going to be your slope, okay? So subtract the 5x from both sides. You should have negative 2y equals negative 5x plus 20. Divide everything by negative 2. These cancel. You get y equals, a negative divided by a negative is positive, so 5 halves x And a positive divided by a negative is a negative, so negative 10. Okay? So what's in the M position? 5/2. And it's positive, right? So the slope, which we'll just use the letter M, is 5/2. Is this line going to go up, down, horizontal, or vertical? Up, because it's positive. Okay? Just check to see if you can reduce it. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. All right? Example number 3. Some of the questions on your assignment you're going to be asked to graph. Given a point, we'll call it point P, is going to be at 2, 1. Given a slope of -3/4. And if you have fancy graph paper, you can use fancy graph paper. If you don't, you're just going to sketch it. So we're just going to sketch it in your notes. Here's your x-axis, here's your y-axis. And should you start with the point or the slope? The point, right? So we're going to put a point at 2, 1. So go 2 to the right, up 1. Call that P. From there, you've got -3/4. So you're going to go down 3 and over 4. 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. We kind of want to see, or what's usually important when you're graphing lines is where it crosses the y-axis. So instead of going down 3, we're going to go up 1, 2, 2, 3. And then instead of going to the right 4, we're going to go backwards 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll see that it crosses over here. Crosses the y-axis there. Okay? And then it'll say something like, what are 2 other points on this line? So you just see where it intersects. Here's one right here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down 1, 2, so -2. That would be another point. And then this one right here would be 1, 2, so -2. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. -2, 4.